This is Skirmishly Live.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of SL Live. Today with me I have my guest Eric. What would you like to say to the people after last week's dominating performance?
Kaka.
Oh my god, this episode's gonna be terrible. I'm just gonna put that. I'm sorry for the people that this is about to go down. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it, and we're gonna talk about last week's matches. We're gonna start off with the Roadhouse and Miracle matchup. Eric, what did you think of that game?
I mean, it was just killer. That's all it was. Killer was all over the map, killing everybody. 21-0. He did a good job. I see Herc didn't get his stats, but that pickup was pretty clutch for them. I hope he actually leads for them going forward over Darth, who doesn't seem to be active. It was nice to see Kippa and Taz. I was hoping they were going to stay on Miracle, but Kippa jumped ship to Fear. So, I mean, it wasn't as big of a stat pad that it could have been, but again, Killer just racked up kills on them.
Yeah, I expected a little more competitive game, to be honest. It seemed like it really hurt Miracle, hurt them right in the feels because a lot of people left their squad after that game. I mean, you got Taz going to rejects. You know, Kippa left to Fear, and even Jerry left because apparently they wouldn't let him play Nader.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I just kind of want to encourage them guys a little bit to keep going on through the season, keep playing. You guys are getting better each week that goes on, and to be honest with you, that score isn't as bad as it really seemed. I mean, 57-23 versus those kind of Marines. I mean, hell, that's a result I would take all the time.
And seeing as, again, only one of the Marines on Roadhouse was actually doing good, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the season of the return of Killer. I mean, he did go 21-0 versus one of the bottom tier teams, but still, that's impressive no matter how you look at it. You know?
I agree.
So, I mean, I think he had like a 300 bounty or something like that. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the highest that we've seen in USL in a long fucking time, which was, astonishing. So, next week, or second match that happened this weekend was Rejects versus Fear. What do you have to say about that one?
I'm glad Rejects won that one. I thought they were going to lose without Dave showing up, but again, I don't know what's going on with Fear. This week for them will be interesting against you guys, but going back to this, I can't tell what's going on with Colossal. He hasn't stepped up as much as he should have been. Neither is District. Mecca leading the team in kills again, 9-8 while leading. But Leak stepped up big again, doing the same thing as Mecca, 10-4 and leading. B-May and Nosekeeper had huge games as well.
Yep.
Especially Nose. I think Nose is the main reason they managed to pull that win off. He was usually getting the opening kill and just shutting them down.
Yeah, I mean, watching that game last week, the score doesn't really say it because it was 39-29, but it just felt to me that whole game that Rejects was in control of it the entire time. Like, that score is deceptively close, but it just felt like Fear was behind the game the entire time.
Right.
I mean, and the most impressive person last week to me was probably Leo, putting up 10-4 and leading in the place of Dave. That just shows you Rejects doesn't need Dave.
No, they really don't. I think Leo is actually a better leader than Dave, personally, but
I think it would have to favor on maps. Which one is really a better leader? Then that would be a per game or per map basis. But we did see an SV sighting last week, boys. The mountain has returned. I can't mention to you guys how huge this is for that squad.
Hopefully he put last season behind him and he can move forward.
I think what he had to do is he had to just reset himself mentally. He's like, all right, I fucked Double Dragons in the playoffs. I went 2-10, or whatever terrible score he did.
I did 1-8.
Oh, that's even worse then. Okay, I gave him too much credit then. So he just like, I just need to reset, regroup my mind, let people forget about that terrible performance. But this is infantry, so no one forgets about any terrible performance.
No, not at all.
And just come back kind of strong without playing a whole lot and put up a decent number versus a pretty good squad.
No, I agree.
District, you got to do more, bud. I was hyping you up at the beginning of the season. Right now, that hype is looking like Iceman.
Oh
I mean,
no.
6-4 versus rejects. You got to step that up. Jeff did fine at 5-5. I mean, that's a tough squad to go against. Mecca did fine, 9-4. Their support Marines kind of didn't do too
9-4.
well.
He went
though.
9-8.
Oh, 9-8. Yeah, my bad. Their support Marines, Brillheart and Hustler. I would, if it was up to me, I'd have Hustler play Medic and have Havoc play Marine.
I
Havoc
agree,
would
and
be a better
I think another thing that kind of shot fear in the foot is they kept trying to play Danny even though they knew he was lagging, and they had the sub in fights or before fights, you know, and that kind of screws you on positioning. So hopefully, you know, this week they're a little smarter about that and try not to play him if he's lagging.
Well, I mean, Danny's a big part of their game.
I agree, but if you know somebody's lagging like Emblem for rejects, if they've been lagging that whole time, why even bother trying to put them in if you know they're going to get specced? It's just going to hurt you.
Yeah, I agree, because you're going to be taken out of position, and you're just not going to be able to set up and do the kind of battles that you want to do.
Exactly.
So next week, probably if Danny's lagging, don't play him, man. You got to play Havoc as a Marine. He's not a half bad Marine to begin with.
Not at all.
And I think Mercy and Hustler,
Well, they just recruited
pretty good
Kippa,
mech
so
combo.
Kippa's going to med, and we'll see what goes on from there.
Oh, I forgot about the Kippa monster. I mean, the so-called playmaster. So, all right, and we're going to go ahead and get to the match of the week. It was obviously my squad versus your squad, and I gotta eat a little bit of it because I called you out last week, and you ended up fucking doing really well. It's a complete shock to me, I'll be honest with you. I didn't think you were going to do that well, to be real with you. I mean, I think you led your team in kills. What do you got to say? This is your time to gloat.
My time to gloat.
Your time to gloat, brother.
You know, it was a close game. I think, like I told you beginning of the week, I think some of your Marines weren't as comfortable on that map as you had hoped. And for one, I love that map. I've always been a fan of Bomb's map, and giving us collective on that just really helped. I don't know. It just seemed I was able to get either Water or Albert down first every fight.
Yeah.
Just about. But Champion also got overconfident here and there. ESO only going 3-3. I expected him to step up big with all that trash talking, but he didn't do shit. It was mainly you, ER, and Chris that did all your killing. You know,
Yeah.
For us, it was Sov again micromanaging, and then I spoke up a little bit more to help Warhawk out. He was getting us in position, and we were just being very vocal.
I'll go ahead and give you my opinions of that game. That was our game to lose. I had a feeling you guys would defer to me.
Mhm.
So my kind of strategy and reasoning was, okay, well, I figure Warhawk is your guys' in-game leader, and I know he probably has never seen that map before in his life.
Right.
I've never led on that map before in my life either, other than like pre-game stuff, but I imagined I had more experience than he had on that map. So I
Right.
figured, okay, well, if I could take him out of his element, I can make him tilt a little bit, and he might make some really, really bad calls that would favor us. And I didn't think that you guys would play the way that you did. You guys hung way to that fucking very right side of the map towards the rocks where I had to go and constantly push you guys toward that
Right.
side, and we actually ended up losing two battles over that. Probably ended up costing us the game. And I didn't know you guys would shift to that side of the map. That was an inexperience on my part. But overall, I mean, I thought it was a pretty good strategy on my part. The guy's uncomfortable. I'm comfortable with shit on that map, obviously.
Mhm.
It would favor my team because we have a little bit better wall snipers. But and we actually had the lead up until a minute, and that's another kind of being unfamiliar about is I didn't know that I thought the game was won because you guys only had a minute left. I didn't think we'd have another fight, to be honest with you.
No, like I was saying earlier as well. I think I was one of the only people that had survived that last fight, and I was immediately going north because I figured you guys were gonna go north. So me, I think Andrew was with me as well, and we were on the far left chasing you guys. So we saw you guys go through, past that vertical rock or whatever, going northeast, and then we already had Sov and all the respawn coming up on the right hand side. So we got you guys clumped up at the end, and that's what was able to win it for us.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you guys ended up beating us. It was a pretty well played game. I mean, it was fun. It was a little bit passive. I mean, I had to push into you guys a lot. I felt like anytime you guys really overstepped, like my team was really able to take advantage of it. I mean, 2 of your Marines went 2 and like 6.
Yeah,
Where
R went 2 and 5, and Warhawk went 2 and 6.
I mean, we exploited the people that we kind of needed to exploit. It's just at the end of the day, I made a decision that ended up costing us the game because there's a point where we're at that little fish rock, and you can see it on the recording where I stopped and I thought about, okay, well, if I turn around right here, how is that position going to favor us? And I didn't make the call, and so I completely take that loss on me. People are going to harp on Albert a little bit, him going 2 and 7, but honestly, yeah, he died a couple of times bad, but other than that, he did save about 4 or 5 kills by one of his deaths that able to keep us into the game. So everyone's like, hey, he did a real bad job and everything like that. I don't see it that way. Yeah, he probably could have played a little better. Yeah, we probably could have caught out a little bit. But overall, man, he did fine. Like, and everyone's giving him so much shit saying, hey, he did fucking terrible. He should be benched and this and that. I don't see it like that.
No, I don't think he should be benched. He, like I said, whenever he kind of overextended, that's when we just all shift focus on him. And, you know, it's just a little bit on his part positioning and just us jumping at that opportunity. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I tried a strategy because no one's fucking SB'd on that map, and I thought it might work out to my favor, and it almost did. So, that just goes to show you, like, deferring to me and letting me pick the map. Hey, I could pick any map in the game and be comfortable about it versus side advantage or not. So that almost worked against you guys.
Almost.
But we'll see what happens during the playoffs. We're going to go ahead and get to this week's matches. And the matches that I first want to talk about is your squad versus Miracle, I believe.
Yeah.
What you got to say about that, man?
I mean, I was hoping, like I said, Kippa and them would stay, and it would make it a little bit more interesting. I'm actually seeing Armor play a lot more. That doesn't mean he's going to show up on Sunday, especially against us.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a similar match, like a similar score that Roadhouse put up against Miracle. I hope not too. I hope we actually do better than that.
I mean, if you guys put up the same kind of score that you put up versus that Roadhouse put up versus them, that's almost like a loss to me. You guys are like, I'll be honest with you, you guys should be putting up at least 80 kills tomorrow or Sunday. Sorry.
We'll see. It all depends on how Foster leads. We were expecting, again, because Kippa was on the squad, that he would camp and run around.
Yeah.
But now that it's Fausto, I don't think he'll run around or hide as much, but he'll definitely be more passive against us. We just picked up Jake, so hopefully that will balance out our Marine lineup. He hasn't been active because he hasn't had internet, but he's getting it back, I think, tonight.
Okay.
So it'll be nice to have a Marine step in for, you know, R or even maybe Andrew. If it's coming down to it, Sov can always micromanage, and I'll take over leading. But
whoa! There seems to be a power grab within the Warhawks community.
Nah, not at all. Andrew's doing fine, but I mean,
you just called the man out right there. You said, "Look, I'm gonna take your job, son, and you're gonna be riding the pine." What's up with that, Eric?
I've been calling Andrew out this whole season. He's faded.
Oh no!
No, I wouldn't want to lead. He's doing fine, so it'll probably be our spot that might be in jeopardy a little bit if Jake
Uh-oh.
comes back and plays well. But I think R has been doing fine. Kind of like Albert, his scores don't really reflect that, but he does a decent job of holding his own.
So if you had to give advice to Miracle, what would you tell him to do?
Close groups, try and overpower one of our groups. That's really all you can really do against us. Or really for their squad in general, they have to stick close. Like you said last week, I believe. They gotta just stay close and push one group, one side.
The guy that I want to see show up this week is Savage. He's been Mia all season long. This is the game that Savage can turn it up and drop, 10 kills and 12 deaths.
That's if he's allowed to play.
I mean, we got other laggers in the league that are allowed to play. So I figure if they can play, Sav can play. I mean, I've always been a big supporter of Savage. Especially when he plays on these lower tier squads. He's just doing it to add another active Marine, especially with them guys losing all these guys. Losing Kaz and Jerry and Kippa and all these guys. They need all the players they can get, and I think Sav could come in there and add a positive killing force to help out Fosto and Crip. And who is Lido Magneto? That guy comes out every week and puts it on the line with his big 20 score.
Oh, God.
I want to thank that guy for coming out. I know he's having a rough season right now, going 4-17, but thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for giving us a 6 squad this season, and just keep doing your damn thing, man. Try and keep the score low, guys. That's what I need you to do. Keep the score low, and you guys will have fun with it.
Absolutely, and I think for them, I said it before. It's going to be Fausto that puts up the numbers for them.
Yeah.
And for us, I'm going to say Jake shows up and he gets put in. So he always seems to show up for the stat pads first. So he'll get his fill this week.
All right. Well, there you guys go. I mean, you're hearing breaking information. If we were still doing fantasy, I would say set your fantasy roster to put Jake in, because that guy is always doing well this season. I can't wait to see what Jake does. The next match we're going to talk about is the Overwatch versus Fear matchup. What do you got to say about that, Eric?
It's interesting. Maybe Mecha will step up his game some more now that he's going to have Kippa leading. That's the only reason I can see why he picked him up and dumped all those extra players to pick Kippa.
Who did he dump?
He dumped Jake, and let me check the log real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, he dumped Jake and he dumped Jared to clean up enough roster space or cap space for Kippa.
Jared was never going to show up anyway.
No,
he's too involved in Overwatch.
Yeah, he's addicted.
So.
But yeah, I think Kippa's going to step in and take over leading and just so Mecha can focus on killing, and that'll help them out a lot against you guys. But I don't see them winning. I see you guys just dominating their Marines. And I don't know what map is going to be played. He's probably either A, going to try and defer, or just be passive and pick EC. District's going to have to show up. Jeff's going to have to show up and step it up, really, if they want a chance to win. For you guys, if you guys played the same lineup you guys did against us, you'll be fine. And I think the person who's going to show up this time will be ESO. Again, he had a lackluster game against us, so he'll probably step it up. And where's Shasta been? I saw him in spec against us.
Well, Shasta couldn't play. He's still getting his stuff situated. He just moved, so he's kind of getting everything situated, And you know how moving is. It kind of sucks. It takes you, about 2 weeks to get
everything situated
everything
and set up.
So yeah, that's where Shasta's been. Where I see this match going is, first off, I'd like to say, can I get a goddamn home game? I mean, each week I gotta fucking sit here and be like, all right, well, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna defer to me? You know, are they gonna let me pick the map? You know, and I gotta can I get a home game, please? I'm just calling out the matchmakers. I think it was Dave, who's being a scumbag, who's biased against me, obviously, because I'm one of the biggest proponents against Dave. So, Dave, quit being fucking biased, you damn scumbag. That's what I have to say to you, sir.
Did
It's
he
all,
give himself home against you too? Let's.
no, he's away versus me. If he had home against me, I'd say the system is almost rigged. It's almost like it's gonna be our election this year. You know how Hillary's trying to rig it versus Donald Trump. There's
Oh,
a little bit
God.
of political speak for you guys if you didn't know.
Can we just end this now?
Anyway, so we'll keep going. I don't know how this matchup is gonna ship up. I mean, you got Kippa there that'll help out, take some of the pressure off of Jeff and especially Mecca. You know,
Mhm.
he'll help them out a lot.
hear
Overall,
ya.
though, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, my guys have been playing pretty solid. We would have probably won that last matchup last week if I didn't have a failure in leadership. So, and like I told you at the beginning of the season, this squad will go as far as I take it. So, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I don't really want to say too much about my own squad. The
I hear
main
you.
thing I want to talk about, though, is the third game of the week. And that, to me, is the biggest game in the whole season because it's
It
against.
chooses the playoff spot.
Yeah.
Really.
And it pretty much comes down to my prediction that I think Roadhouse is going to make the playoffs this season.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
You want to start this one or you want me?
yeah, go ahead and start. I'm gonna hear what your thoughts are on it.
All right, like I said earlier, picking up Herc was huge for these guys. You've now got M4 and Killer, somebody else that they can rely on to open up battles. Pandy, I don't think showed last week, so now that Herc is there, maybe he'll show up as well. Same with Manu to medic, because I saw Joe was medding last week, but again, it was against Miracle, so it didn't really matter. But if Devil, M4, Killer, Pandy, and Uni show up, those 5 Marines, they've got a decent Marine lineup, and they can definitely take this from rejects. If Herc is leading or Darth, it doesn't matter. One of those two, as long as it's not K or CB, for the love of God. They're home, so I could see them choosing EC just because they scrim on that map a lot.
Yeah.
Or maybe Herc chooses KR if he's the one leading. You know,
I don't think Herc takes KR.
You don't think so?
No way. He's like, I don't want to play from Titan.
That's true.
Herc's just coming back. Herc isn't going to come back and lead. He's going to rely on somebody else to lead, and he's going to do what he does best. That's solo flanking and taking those weird ass angles that break open battles with his law snipes. Plus, he's been getting a little active, which is a little scary.
It is. He's in pub right now playing, so.
Yeah, and this match is pretty big for Roadhouse. If they can take this game away from rejects, they will effectively make the playoffs.
Yeah, they
providing
their spot because they already beat Fear as well.
Exactly.
Or Rejects beat Fear.
Rejects
Roadhouse plays Fear next week.
And that could be the match right there that will determine it all. But if Roadhouse can beat Rejects, it'll kind of assure their spot in the. So that's kind of, I want to see them guys finally make it and break through this
the
season.
palm curse.
Break the palm curse, I guess is what you want to call it.
That's what it's looking like.
Like you said before, adding Herc to this lineup was freaking huge. Now you got two top 10 killers in the league, M4 and Herc on this team.
Yeah, but that just lets Killer sneak through as well, though, because we can't forget about him, man. He's stepping up.
Well, I mean, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I think Killer steps up in stat pad games, but when the games are real close, I think he's gonna fade away.
He reminds me a lot like a better version of a Deviac. His tunnel vision is very close to Deviac's, if you ever remember him.
I love Rick, you know, Deviac, also known as Rick. And I would say that Rick was a better player than Killer because no matter what, Rick was always taking one Marine with him. Even when he was on really terrible squads, all he did was charge forward and kill at least one dude.
True.
You knew that's what he was going to do. Killer's not that kind of player. Yeah, everyone's impressed that he stacked up a weak squad last week going 21-0. That doesn't impress me at all. What he does in this match will determine everything, because in the match versus me, I didn't even know he was playing in the game. You know,
I hear you.
I was more scared about M4 than I was Killer.
No, and actually, against you guys, M4 definitely played well. It didn't show on his score, but he definitely played like their best Marine. So, again, we'll see what happens. I think Roadhouse takes this from Rejects.
What do you think a score is going to be, and what map do you think is going to play, and who's going to be the MVP?
All right, I think it's going to be EC. Pam
Okay.
Pam chooses EC, and I'm thinking the score is probably going to be relatively close. So I like the 40s. I say 45-40. MVP Herc. I think his presence along with M4, but like you said, his solo flanks, and if he's leading, if not, whatever. But his solo flanks and his ability to open up the battles wins it for them.
Okay, so you're completely saying Rejects. What do they have to do to win this game?
They have to take advantage of those solo flanks. Knowing that Herc is off somewhere, you take advantage of that and you push. You have Leek who's playing well. Maybe this is a week that Soul finally shows up. I think they need him for this match. So Nose
Okay.
Keeper's gonna have to play like he did last week. We might have to see the Mountain play again.
Whoa,
And
whoa!
I
Let's
know.
not talk about SB. They just
Eh.
picked up Taz. I think you play Taz, or actually you play Soul if he's there,
Yeah.
but Soul's never gonna show up, so we could discount him.
True. I think if Manu shows up, that really helps their Roadhouse secure this win. Because as good as Joe's been doing as a medic for them, it's clear that he's still not comfortable medding. So if they
Yeah.
have Manu and Victim there, or Keel comes in and meds, that's great. Because you have Chica, Fire and Ice, or Emblem for rejects, or Babel.
I mean,
So-
the young Babel showed up last week and killed it. Let's not forget about the young Babel. I
He did.
mean, He came in and he was kind of impressive, doing his med thing. You know, I think for Rejects to win this game, what we're gonna need to have happen is Nosekeeper has to play super good like he's been playing. He's pretty solid and consistent, and I think Dave needs to come in and free some of the leadership responsibilities from Leo and let him be a pure killer. I think
Okay.
whenever you're leading and it kind of you take a loss somewhere.
No, absolutely.
Either you're not going to be a straight killer, or you're going to be looking at the mini map and get caught by stupid shit. Somewhere down the line, something's got to give. You know, there's been very few leaders in the league that can actually good numbers and still be able to lead their squad effectively. And the best one that I've been around, obviously, has been Chaos. So, kind of go with that. And I think they actually play on Bombs map.
Bombs?
And yeah, or not Bombs map, Apollo's map.
Okay.
And Dave sticks to the right side. And I think that Roadhouse just edges them out in a really close game. I'm going to say it's going to be like 38-36 with Hurt coming in and getting a clutch-ass law snipe at the end and really showing
like
that
what
he's one of the
Champion
best
did for
Marines.
you guys last week.
Well, yeah. But this is a whole different map. You can run away on that map and you ain't catching back up in a minute.
That's true.
So, I think that's what needs to happen for Roadhouse really to win this week. And I'm cheering for Roadhouse because no one likes Dave.
Nobody likes Dave at all.
He's trying to rig the system. The hell with Dave.
So yeah,
So-
this is definitely the match of the week, like you said.
Yeah.
And if Roadhouse wins this, it ensures that Fear loses a playoff spot, pretty much.
Yeah. So Fear needs to be cheering for all their might for Dave to get his head out of his ass and actually come up with a win here. And if Roadhouse loses this game, though, I think that's a huge turning tide for that squad, because I think some of their players might lose interest. Um, they may not show back up, and then you kind of got what you had last season with that squad. So hopefully, Pandy, Manu, Hurt, and for all them guys show up, and then you can have Killer and the rest of those guys kind of fill in and
Right.
really just come in and just be solid Marines like they've been playing. So, with that, is there anything else you would like to say?
Nah, I'm all set, man.
All
I'm
right,
just
well
ready
then,
for the week.
yeah, I'm ready. I'm looking to see what kind of how the games shake out this week, and I'd like to thank you for coming on and talking with me today. And that's all we got for this weekend. I can't wait for the games this week. So, take it easy, guys.
Ready?